welcome back. It's been such a long time that I have posted on here. It's been a long time. Was it Christmas? New Year? I think it was New Year. Happy New Year, Chinese New Year as well. A lot of things happened in the last month or so. I truly was a Kobe fan until he stopped playing, and that was just such a sad story. A lot of people, especially my peers growing up, have been affected by it. A lot of us who grew up in the Philippines were just totally Kobe fans for some reason. We were just fans of Kobe, and it was such a sad news. Definitely a sad news. If you hear crunching in the background, that is Kona trying to have dinner. It is about to be 7 right now, and I think he's a little hungry, so he usually doesn't mind me recording, but he gets too bored sometimes, and if he's hungry then he will eat, so excuse the crunching in the background. A lot of things have also arrived in the mail for me. I feel so blessed. This video is actually going to be about the Real ID, effective October 1st. So in the past week or so, I have applied for my Real ID. If you go to dmv.gov, you can apply for a Real ID on there. It's going to ask you a series of questions. You know, where do you live? What's your social security number? What is your driver's license number or ID number? What are other names that you have used in the past? After that form that you fill out online, it's going to issue you some form of receipt number that you're going to use for the last leg of the whole application, which is when you go into the actual DMV office and bring that number. It's like a 6-digit number, and present it to the DMV staff for them to quote unquote issue you a Real ID. It's identification. Instead of bringing your passport along with you and all these other documents that are linked to your regular photo ID or driver's license, you have the extra security of being recognized as a citizen, as a resident, whatever applies to you, instead of bringing that extra form of identification all the time with you, such as passport or social security number. So nowadays you can just fly with your regular photo ID in hand aboard domestic flights, but effective October 1st, if you don't have a Real ID, then the TSA agent, is that what they're called? They will basically require you to show another form of identification, which is either your green card, resident card, passport, to prove that you are who you say you are. So in link with that, oh yeah, so make sure the news is already talking about it. DMV doesn't have enough staff or time to do everyone in the whole society. So make sure to get ahead and do yours now before September 30th, which is basically the last day they might question your identity. The other thing in link with this, since we're talking about photo IDs, identification, is the global entry card. The global entry card is another form of identification for trusted travelers. So the first part is to go to CBP, which is Customs Borders and Patrol.org, and then you'll apply for a global entry card, which costs $100, but it's good for 5 years, so it rounds about to $20 a year. But it's an extra security card that basically requires you to apply for a trusted traveler, apply for the trusted traveler program, which also asks you similar questions to what they ask on the Real ID, except for a little bit more in-depth, like your mother's last name, your father's last name, where were you born, you know, specific questions that can identify you as who you say you are. And once you go through a series of questions, it will review it, and they usually take about a week or 2 weeks to review your application. And then, like in my case, they had given me a conditional approval, which means that, oh wait, let's backtrack. So the global entry card, the $100, will give you the free TSA Pre-check, which means that you can go through the lines once you enter the airport very swiftly compared to others. Please note there are always random checks at the airport. The last time I went on a trip to Hawaii, we had some random check done on us, our group. My friend had broken her ankle, so we had a cane, a walker, and a rollator. A rollator is a cane on wheels with a seat, if you can imagine that. And for some weird reason, we got randomly checked. So they checked every crevice of those DME items, which are the cane, the walker, and the rollator. We almost missed our flight, and at the end of it, our flight was actually canceled. But that shows to prove that having TSA Pre-check is going to be a benefit for you if you travel a lot. It is basically pre-board, so that means that you go through the lines rather very quickly. when you have plans on leaving your hometown and going somewhere else. And the global entry card is actually a card that you can use within also the United States of America, or arriving into the United States of America, meaning for immigration purposes, you would not have to go through the long lines when they check your bags for food that you might have smuggled from another country, or fruits that you might have checked in to your luggage randomly, and or other things that people just give you randomly just because you're traveling to a foreign country and they're from another foreign country. So to be a trusted traveler, you want to make sure that you are playing the game and you are not ever carrying any sorts of knives on your carry-on like I did my last travel, but instead, you know, you're being a good citizen and you're not bringing anything bad. You know, these are things that you want to make sure that you're doing to keep everybody else in your country safe. So that's the difference of the TSA Pre-check and global entry. So again, TSA Pre-check is when you're leaving, you get to go through the line quickly to jump on a plane. And then the global entry is to enter in. So that means you go through the other side, which is a shorter line, to come into the country. You skip through the long immigration line and scan your card, I think, once you receive the global entry card, or your passport, and then go to an officer for a quick check. But it would be relatively shorter than your regular immigration line. So those are the cards that I'm discussing this week. There's just been so many things going on. Oh, and I got approved for global entry conditionally. However, I couldn't get an interview. So the places that I could interview in California are down south, which is I think LA or San Diego, or close to San Diego. But those places don't have any available interviews going on right now. The other way to get it approved is to fly internationally, come back, and then at the SFO Border Patrol office, you can just check in and drop in and do the interview upon arrival. But you have to have traveled internationally to do that. And the closest international travel to me would be Canada. But Canada, yeah, is so expensive, yeah. And I didn't have the time to go there when I was in Seattle to drive up and then come back in. So yeah, or maybe it also requires me to fly in to San Francisco from Canada. So with that said, I have a trip coming. And in that trip, since we're doing surveillance stuff, we were able to squeeze in an interview for the card, the global entry card that I applied for, and it will be in New York City. So I'm so excited to go, although it's going to be a very, very short trip. It's still, you know, out of here, and it'll be a new experience altogether, and I'm excited. I haven't really been to New York since shortly after 9/11. So New York at the time when I visited was very devastated. And since then I've made a couple friends that now live in New York. I'm excited to see them as well and meet their families if we have time. Hopefully they have time to meet up with me, but I'm excited. Those are things I have coming up for, you know, following weeks. And how is everyone? I hope everyone has had a great New Year, Chinese New Year. Valentine's! We totally skipped through Valentine's. What did you guys get for Valentine's? What did you guys get your loved one for Valentine's? Are you the little corny types of people that give away gifts for Valentine's? I am so not that person, but I did get the biggest bouquet for Valentine's, and it had 3 big bullets. So I came back from lunch before I end this whole long video. I came back from lunch and I got a cake which had 4 flavors in it: red velvet, the caramel, is it tres leches they call it? The other one was chocolate, and the other one was carrot cake. So it's cake, 4 flavors, boom. I shared it with the rest of the office. I went to break shortly after I came back to my desk, and lo and behold sat this big old bouquet of flowers, and it was red roses. And it was sitting so stately because the bouquet was big. It was like this big. And then I had 3 balloons, and then right smack in the middle of the bouquet was a teddy bear. It didn't have any dedication. My sister was making fun of me because there wasn't any dedication. And it had my name on it. And yeah, I asked this person and I'm like, are you trying to embarrass me? And he's like, why am I trying to embarrass you? Because I got a bouquet? And he's like, ha 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 ha, are you turning red? And I'm like, yes, but thank you. And it was pretty much, that was pretty much it. Valentine's Day. I think it's commercialism. I'm still the same person. I still think the same thing about it, but it is nice. It is nice to receive, you know, such a big gesture and effort, you know, and thought just being at the receiving end of it. Yeah, I am excited for the week to be over. It is Friday, Junior, and I'm hoping that everyone has a safe weekend ahead. And I will definitely think of more things to post in the coming weeks. And I love you for your support. Everyone has been just supporting me left and right. Like, a shit ton has happened that I can't really talk to you guys about online. There's a lot more things to discuss in the next coming videos, so stay tuned for that. And again and again, thank you so much for being supportive. My Zumba teacher keeps seeing me at work and he's always like, when are you coming back to class? Like, I'll see you at 6:15, and I'm like, ugh, bye. But yeah, I do definitely need to go back to dancing. I love dancing. I keep saying that, but you will never find me in any dance videos, nor will I record myself dancing. I probably have already in the past, but I should stop talking, and I will let you guys enjoy your weekend. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.